Welcome to Malcolm Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcolm and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right Podcast. I'm your host, Malcolm Reed, and right across from me is my lovely wife, Miss Southern Shell. It's had a big week working on her dip recipe because we got a contest going this week, and it's anything dip as long as you use one of our products, right?
Yeah. I found out that someone has cheated. So we're doing an inner office contest.
Who's the cheater?
Do you know what Mikey's doing? He's doing just ranch dip, but his like
sour cream mayo ranch packet.
He did it. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be ranch dip, but he actually created what are they?
Loaded potato skins?
Well, yeah, loaded potato skins for his like vehicle.
Oh, so he didn't go the chip route.
Yes.
That's like me. If I'd have said, okay, I'm making steak dip, and I cooked ribeye and sliced it up and then just had some butter to dip it in.
Yes.
Heck, I'm going to do over. I want to do over.
I feel like this might be cheating. He said, no, it's not.
It's not a vessel contest. It's the dip. But we didn't specify. So I looked at the rules. The rules had to go in a little bowl that sat on a plate, and you had to turn it in by noon, and you had to make 7 servings, 6 for judges, 1 for a pitcher, and you had to use at least one product of How to Barbecue Right Malcolm's product.
Or Killer Hogs.
In the dip.
Yeah.
That was the only rules. There was no specification on the vessel.
That's true. But I'm going to reiterate to the judges. It's a dip contest, y'all.
Yeah, you judge the dip, not what you eat it with.
I don't know.
My Frito scoops are going to look pitiful next to his loaded potato skins.
I tried frying some flour tortillas.
Yeah.
It didn't work out too well for me.
I know what went wrong.
What?
You used the fluffy street taco ones. You got to use the El Cheapo flours. It's like the one
You're
layer.
right. They were too thick.
Because yours like double layered up. They were the poofy kind of, you know what I mean? The fluffy one.
Yep.
You need the super thin ones. That way it just gives one layer.
Well, the problem was they were getting done on the outside, but the inside, they were so thick, they weren't frying. So they kind of.
Yeah. I tried one this morning. I snuck in there and I was like,
they had a good
chewy
flavor.
Yeah, it's just chewy.
Yeah. It's not the perfect.
It's not the perfect vessel. It's not a loaded potato skin either.
I'm serving them with scoops.
Yeah. Are you going to go scoop? Oh, yeah, you got multigrain scoops. So.
Yeah. What is your dip?
So I put a lot of thought into it. I went way out of my wheelhouse. I made a barbecue dip.
I think that's a great idea, really.
Yeah. It's pretty much, I don't know. So think jalapeno popper dip, like cream cheese, sour cream, jalapenos. I put a can of green chilies in there. I put some, so to turn it barbecue style, I cooked a whole pork butt, pulled it, and then chopped. Well, I took about 2 pounds, so about half that pork butt, chopped it up, and it's in my dip. Like I chopped it up real small, so so you don't get the big hunk of pulled pork. Mm-hmm. And then I added the barbecue sauce, and I added the barbecue rub. And so I mixed all that up, spread it out in the pan. It's going on the pellet grill right here when we get through doing the podcast. And I topped it with a little more rub. So I'm gonna get it good and hot and bubbly. And then because we got to bowl this up, and so if I topped it, it wouldn't look good. I couldn't scoop it out, so I left it untopped. And what I'm going to do, I've got some of these crispy fried onions and some Fiesta style cheese. I'm going to put that on top of it while it's hot. Mm-hmm. And I got to see if I can torch. So I'm going to see if it needs some heat or if it looks okay. And then if it's fine, right before it goes to judges, I'm going to drizzle it with a little bit of vinegar sauce and garnish it with some fresh sliced jalapenos. And I'm just serving it with scoops. So
yeah.
It's not hard. I mean, the hardest thing was smoking that pork butt, and I did it overnight when I cheated.
That's not cheating. Overnight pork butts are delicious.
They are.
They're pretty good.
You just put them on and hope the power don't go out. That was what I was worried about. Tyler's sitting over there. He was working on his dip till 1 in the morning because power was out last night. We had massive storms roll through, and I was sweating it too.
So I did a bacon cheeseburger dip. I was trying to do my trial run, which, granted, I should not have been doing my trial run yesterday, but I was kind of running low time. So I was trying to put it all together. I got to the ground meat portion of it. As soon as the raw meat hit the pan, the power cut. So I couldn't open my fridge to put the raw meat back in because I had to keep all the cool. And it was out for like 5 hours or something. So I had to run to Walmart at about 10 o'clock last night, grab all the stuff I needed for it, and then I was able to get it all pulled together.
So it's
double double cheeseburger. So you start with the bacon. You cook all the bacon in. Then you leave the bacon fat in the pan. You take the bacon out. Put some yellow onions in there. Cook those down. Throw your ground meat in there. Crumble it up. You combine everything. It's like Monterey Jack cheese, sharp cheddar cheese. I put some AP in there. A little bit of TX as well. I like the pepper. And then you put it all together with some cream cheese. You put it in the oven for about 20 minutes. It all melts down. Kind of turns into like I don't want to say queso, but it, kind of
hot cream cheese with sausage. Or
it would be.
Exactly.
Can't be bad.
And then I bought some of our big dill pickles and I chopped them up for the garnish.
Smart.
And
yeah. So it's going to taste like a
cheeseburger.
We should have did to make this interesting for a dip. If we would have put a stipulation there, you can't use cream cheese. Because that would have threw everybody off. I think everybody's got cream cheese in their dip some kind of way. Even the dessert dips, they put cream cheese in them. So if you couldn't use cream cheese, that would throw you a wrench.
I'm trying to think of a dip recipe I have that doesn't
have cream cheese in it. You'd have to use regular cheese, I guess.
Yeah.
Could you cream regular cheese? I know what I would do. I'd make a butter dip. You could do that.
Heck yeah.
Just cream some butter.
What are you serving yours with, Tyler? Like, what's your vessel?
So Kroger sells, I guess they fry their own tortillas there or whatever. So they're like very fresh tortilla chips. So that's what I bought.
Oh, yeah?
It's over there in the bakery section.
I've never seen those.
Yeah.
Is it like restaurant style tortilla chips?
Yeah, it looks like an off brand, like it's just a white label on it. It says thanks for shopping at Kroger on it. But it has like the made on date and stuff like that.
Yeah,
are they crispy and
no, they're delicious. They're just like as originally I was gonna stop at the Mexican restaurant and I saw those. And I was like, So
when you said cheeseburger dip, I'm thinking like McDonald's special sauce dip. You know what I mean? Like something like that.
It kind of has that flavor though, because you put Worcestershire in it, and which I use the W sauce just because I wanted to try it anyway.
Did it have mayo in it?
No
mayo.
No mayo. But it kind of I don't
pickle
know.
in it.
Yeah, so I top it with a little bit of fresh dill and a little bit of our big dill pickles.
Yeah, does it have lettuce on top too?
I thought about it, but I didn't go all the way.
I'm kind of.
You're into that?
Yeah, heck yeah.
It was really good. I tried like one bite of it. I'm
mustard in it,
but no,
you
could do it. But like I said, for some reason, it like naturally has that Big Mac flavor to it.
I'm thinking you could I bet you could come up with a good burger dip.
That one seems pretty good.
But you could dip it with pickles.
Yeah.
Take big deal pickles and cut them to where they're like chips and dip the pickle in them.
Originally, I was going to make fried pickles and dip them,
Yeah,
but I didn't know how
would be really good.
I didn't know how it would hold over the next day.
Yeah.
So it's bacon cheeseburger dip.
Yep, bacon cheeseburger dip.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
That sounds really good.
Yeah. What's the little crostinis would be good to dip that into? Crunch.
Yeah.
Be kind of bready.
That's what Austin was trying to get me to do.
Brioche.
He was trying to get me to just buy like really fancy hamburger buns, cut them up, put them in the oven.
Toast them to where they're kind of hard, to where they turn into a chip. I could see that.
Or something with sesame seeds. You know?
I just went the easy route.
Nothing wrong with that.
But we'll find out who reigns supreme here
in the dips
in a little bit.
We've got Mark doing.
He's doing a dessert dip.
Yeah, but it looks like a take on restaurant white cheese dip with pico on top, except it's some kind of pudding with a spicy fruit salsa on top. So it's kind of unique. He showed me a picture of it. I said, dang, it looks like a bowl of cheese dip.
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to lose. He wants to pick what we do next.
Yeah, he's already told me what he's picking. He's going rice. Anything with rice in it. I know you hate rice, so that's going to throw you but you got some good recipes you do with rice.
I can still win.
Mine's pasta. If we lose, it's pasta.
Is it?
Pasta.
Easy.
Pasta. Yeah. Oh, I like that too.
The problem with stuff like that is it's hard to. We don't have the facilities for everyone to cook up here. Mm-hmm. It's hard to bring those types of dishes in.
You could bring pasta.
You could bring pasta in.
Yeah.
You already have your sauce and your noodles and stuff. Yeah.
Like barbecue lasagna or barbecue spaghetti.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I got a pasta one. That's really a good one because man, you'd be terrible judging it though. You know how stuffed you would be?
Heck yeah.
It'd be like carb overload.
Because, it's going to be what, eight entries?
Yeah. You got to eat 8 different pastas. You know they're all going to be hearty. Cheesy, hearty, saucy, meaty.
Yeah. I'll come in and do butter noodles, just plain butter noodles. Stand out from everybody. So this week you did an Easter brisket.
Yep, it's Easter this week, so everybody's celebrating, I'm sure, and looking for something to cook. And Easter brisket's something that we never really. My family always did the traditional ham or turkey,
yeah.
something like that. But we never had brisket. But I said, man, I get a lot of questions about brisket on Easter. So I kind of showed how I would do one. I took a different take. I mean, yeah, it was done on the smoker. I think in the video I say it's not a smoked brisket. Well, it is a smoked brisket, but I do it almost like a roast style, like if you were going to cook a roast in the oven.
Well,
so
flavors.
Flavors.
The technique is pretty similar.
Yeah, it is. It's a braising technique. Instead of browning it like you typically would in some fat, browning, getting some color on the outside and then braising it, I used the smoker to build a bark and then braised it. And it was phenomenal. It was really, really good. The flavors worked on it.
Yeah.
It was as good as any roast I've ever had,
I thought it was really good.
I liked it.
I like
brisket
the
that
savory
way. Yeah,
flavors.
I liked it.
Yeah.
What impressed me the most, and I think I'm gonna do this on brisket that I cook from now on, is that beefy onion
You like
powder
that?
mix. Well, it instantly, like when I put it on, it instantly started sweating that brisket. And I don't know what they got in. I'm sure it's some kind of chemical reaction
MSG
going.
or something.
Probably a lot of MSG. Yeah. But that gravy mix it took the moisture and started turning it into like this beautiful color on the outside of that brisket. And you can tell in one of the pictures where I'm holding it up before we wrap it, how pretty it looks. And you could see the herbs. Like I took a little mixture of dried herbs on top. I didn't go fresh because I knew I was just trying to make a little bark with them. And so it had, some rosemary, some thyme, and some parsley. And that with the AP and that beefy onion mix, it's all it needed. I mean, it didn't need a barbecue flavor at that point.
So,
and I didn't, I was worried that this color's going to be ugly. I didn't think it would get that
I thought
pretty.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it had that mahogany. You hear everybody say, "Oh, it needs a mahogany look," and that's when you know the color's right. Well, it did that. It caused that reaction in the meat, and it pulled out. I don't know where the redness came from. It wasn't from a rub. It was just the natural color of that brisket, and that was a Creekstone prime brisket. It wasn't. I needed something fast, and just ordered it from Creekstone. I didn't do a Wagyu like I normally would for a contest or something. So, and it was fantastic. It was juicy. It was tender.
You may let you know what Lipton onion soup mix is made out of.
Yeah, what does it have in it?
Well, it's dry onion flakes, beef bouillon granulates, onion powder, parsley, celery seed, paprika, black pepper, and MSG.
Yeah, that's what makes it sweat. That's what gives it the meat sweat. It makes me sweat too. Doesn't take much.
And that beef bouillon does a lot.
Gives a flavor. Yeah, it does. So it turns into that. It starts making its own little gravy and brown it. But it's good. It really is. I highly suggest y'all try that. I bet that would be good on some steaks. Just do a dry marinade with it and then season it and grill them.
That would be good on steaks.
Try that.
I
Beefy onion
try
steaks.
That, like tonight or something.
Tonight?
Yeah.
On the grill tonight? It sounds good, doesn't it?
How big was that brisket?
I ordered it. It was like 13 to 15 pounder or 13 to 16 range. I forget exactly what it is. And it was like 14 and a half. I trimmed the only trimming I did on it was I flipped it over. I like it to lay flat on the pit, and briskets will have that big hump in them. So I flip it over on the fat side and kind of knock that hump off of it. Just kind of pull it up with your hands and knock that off, and it lays flat. It was already about a 1/4 inch fat, so I didn't have to do anything to the fat. And just where it had a thin edge, I just kind of rounded it a little bit. You can tell I didn't do much to it at all. I didn't take hardly anything off, so I didn't lose much.
What's that hump that you take off of? Is it mostly just fat?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just part of that decal end where it's just it wouldn't lay good. It makes it cook crooked. When you slice it, I mean it does. Like it keeps it all propped up.
Yeah.
So it blocks your airflow and the flat don't cook good. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
But when you straighten it out and make it to where it lays flat, it cooks a lot better.
It's like a race car.
Yeah, that's right. It's more aerodynamic on the pit. Lets that heat hit it and gently glide over and go all the way down the flat instead of having that big hump. And, I mean, you can tell that brisket swole up. So from the point in where it's fatty, it starts swelling up. But when you got that hump in there, it really swells up. So you end up with this 6-7 inch thick piece of meat on that end. And I want it to all be level.
Yeah.
So
it cooks more even.
Yeah, it cooks more even. That's the whole idea of taking it off like that. And you can tell when you flip it over, if you'll just kind of take your hand and kind of pinch it, it'll kind of make a ridge. And you're just taking that ridge off to where it's as flat as both sides of the point. Mm-hmm. So, and it tails off before the flat. I mean, so it doesn't run all the way down.
Yeah,
the length of the brisket. It's just right there on the decal point end.
It's just a little hump, like you said.
It is.
Yeah.
If there's any, big, thick, fat veins on it, you can take that off. If there's any C-needle on top, you can take that off. But, I mean, I really didn't spend a whole lot of time trimming that one.
Like 3 minutes or less.
Yeah. You're like, I want to get your video filming. I said, there ain't nothing to film. I'm just doing this, and that's it. So,
what'd you put in the wrap?
the wrap is what really brought the flavor to it. Started with some beef broth, some red wine, equal parts. Wanted to make sure I had plenty of juice. So I didn't measure it. If you're doing it 2 cups, is plenty of each.
Yeah.
But I just like
it probably depends on the size of your brisket.
Half a quart, half a bottle. It does, because especially when you got it in a big pan like that, you want the liquid to come up about halfway on the meat in the pan. That's a good get. You don't want it covered. I didn't pour anything directly over the top of the brisket. I kept it all around it. But you want your liquid to be up about halfway, and you're going to get some more added liquid to it from the renderings from that fat, seeping out of that brisket as it heats up and goes through all the stages of cooking. But I also put a whole head of garlic that I minced up. It's about, 10 cloves, whatever, suit your fancy on that. I put 2 whole onions that I julienne sliced, just kind of made them in strips.
Yeah.
Spread those all out in there.
Tomato paste.
Tomato paste to thicken it up, give it a little body, a little acidity, and I just squeezed it out of a tube. If you're using a can, you probably need about 3 good tablespoons. Put some bay leaf in there, and you could pretty much put if you wanted to add some beer, if you wanted to, whatever you would want to put in there, you could add. That's just all I wanted to go with. Kind of keep it that roast flavor.
Yeah.
You got the wine, you got the beef, you got the onion. One thing I think I would really like to have done, because it would have went well with the gravy, was if I would have added mushrooms.
Yeah.
I was like, man, because when we were eating it, it's good. It made a really good onion gravy, but an onion and mushroom gravy would have been really good.
Do you think braising it in that liquid is why it was so moist?
It does help. It helps, because that's definitely going to help add more. I don't know if it doesn't really soak up the flavors of it, I don't think, but the liquid in there creates that steam, and it just makes a good environment to breaking it down.
It was,
typically with a regular brisket, I'll never add that much liquid. I'd usually about 12 ounces is all we'd put in one, because we'd wrap it in full, keep it tight. We're not really trying to braise it. We're just trying to add some liquid to it
while it breaks down.
That's right. Yeah. But a braising liquid needs more. And if you really wanted to, you really could have put that liquid on in the pan, got some smoke flavor in it, and let it been reducing that whole time, fortifying those flavors some. You probably would have needed a little more liquid if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
But you can fortify your braising liquid too. And a lot of the recipes you'll see for doing it like in the oven or on the stovetop, they start out with their braising liquid on the stove. They'll brown their brisket in a pan, and then they'll take it out, set it to the side, start building their braising liquid, get it good and hot and boiling, almost reduced down some. Then they'll cut the temp down, add the brisket to it, put a lid on it, throw it in the oven for 4 hours. That's how they do it. So, you can do that as well, but it cooks down enough too.
Could you have thrown your old brisket trimmings off in that pan and let it?
Yeah, and get some flavor on that. Why not? You could. Yeah. If you cut enough of it off where you had some to render some fat into it, that'd even make it even beefier.
Yeah.
It would be good.
So then you made a gravy.
So
went with it. Well, and it's just a straightforward gravy.
Yeah, one thing, I put a temp probe in it. So I wanted to watch that brisket temperature. And I want it to, 202, everybody says it's the magic number when brisket's done. That's true. But you always want to, when you take your full off, when it hits 202 on your thermometer, you still got to check for doneness. And you'll notice in the video, I went to feeling on it with the handheld probe. And I just wanted to make sure it was as soft everywhere. If it hadn't have been soft everywhere, I would have put the lid back on and cooked it some more. And it could have went, I've seen them go as high as 210, 212, something like that, so you get your softness. But 202 is a good gauge. And a lot of times, even at a contest, I'll start checking it when it gets to like 198. And, because I always want to go by feel. And I just from experience, no 2 briskets cook alike. It's all where it wants to be done at when it's done. And so, put a probe in it. Don't forget that before you put your lid on and watch it the whole time. Then, what'd you ask me about what I did next?
The gravy.
The gravy. So after that brisket was temped out, was perfectly tender, I took it out and set it on some foil and kind of loosely tinted it up.
Let it hang out.
Just let it hang out. Now, you could, at this point, rested that brisket for 2, 3, 4 hours in a cooler. It would have been fine. I would have left it in the juice too. Just let it sit down in there and hang out and, chill for when you're getting ready. Then right before you wanted to serve it is when you wanted to make your gravy. And so to make this gravy, I took the brisket out of the liquid and just loosely tinted it, left it sitting on the cut board. Didn't put it in a cooler or nothing. I took the gravy inside and poured everything through a colander. picked out the bay leaves. That left me with my onions and what little bit of garlic remnants. The garlic,
it's pretty much
it kind of dissolves
at that point. Yeah.
But the onions held up nice. They weren't mushy. They still had texture. They really were. And so I set them to the side, and I had these drippings. Well, I poured those drippings in a little fat separator. So the fat would go to the top. I could pour the juice off the bottom. I started in a big skillet, like a deep saute pan on the stove, a little flour and a little butter, kind of roux. Started adding my just the au jus, trying to keep the fat to the top. Put that in there and let it start thickening up. I tasted it for seasoning, and it really didn't need any more salt or anything. I was afraid that, just to add seasoning because it would be too salty with the amount of seasoning we put on the brisket and how it kind of fortifies as it cooks. So I didn't season it.
It didn't need it.
Yeah, it didn't really need it. I did put right before, after I put the onions in. So once it gets to boil, it's going to hit a thickness. Then I put the onions in there that we'd strained out. Then I tasted it again. I said, make it pop, a little more cracked black pepper. And so I don't know if we showed that on the video, but I did put a little more restaurant grade cracked black pepper in it just because I like black pepper.
Yeah.
And I like peppery gravy, and that's what we served it with. I mean, if the gravy, like say if you make that gravy at home and it wants to start, because gravy will start seasoning up on you as it cools, you can just add a couple tablespoons of hot water at a time. Or if you still have some of those drippings, keep them hot, just stir it in there just to loosen it back up before you serve it. Because it was kind of cool outside that day, and ours, I mean, you could tell it would start just doing what gravy does, thickening up.
Yeah.
But you want to keep it to where it's ladleable. Is that a word?
Yeah. Or ideally, get it done and serve it.
Yeah, get it done and serve it. I like to go my gravy straight from once you pour it in the gravy pot, everything's on the table.
You're waiting on gravy and rolls.
That's it. You're waiting on gravy and rolls. But don't step off on that gravy. That gravy's some good stuff. You have those, that braising liquid's got all your flavor in it. Use that, build your little brown gravy, and it goes great with brisket.
So how would you serve that?
I would serve it like
because we talked about doing some
mashed
carrots
potatoes, some roasted roasted vegetables. Put some brisket slices over those potatoes. Like let the potatoes be your foundation.
If you're building the dish.
This is how I'm gonna build my plate. I'm gonna slice my flat across the grain. I'm gonna turn the point, slice it. So I'm gonna put me some potatoes down. I'm gonna put me 2 slices of flat over the potatoes. I'm gonna put me a nice slice of point right on top of that. I'm gonna ladle gravy over all of it, and I'm gonna have me some of those roasted carrots to the side, maybe some asparagus or Brussels or something, and some rolls. And I got the perfect Easter lunch.
Maybe a deviled egg or two.
Maybe a couple deviled eggs. Save room for some banana pudding.
I will say that every time we cook a brisket on a stick burner, it's better than cooking it on any other pit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I mean, so the closest, the drum does a really good brisket. You get good flavor on it.
To me,
the
drum
texture
does the pork butt the best.
Yeah, the drum doesn't do the texture on the brisket as good as a stick burner, but the flavor's good. And the overnight pellet grill does great texture on the outside, but the flavor's not as good because it's a pellet grill. So, I mean, you're still trying to get to the stick burner brisket.
Yeah.
That's like the creme de la creme stick burner brisket. It keeps the outside just right. You get a nice little bark on it, but the inside is juicy and just wringing wet with moisture. That's what I like on a brisket. When you slice it and you see the water, the juices run out of it. That's what I want to see in a brisket. If it's not juicy and your board's not covered, it probably ain't that good. It's probably dry.
Yeah.
But you can see that's the best way to season the cutting board too. You see my cutting board? It was just slicked over after that brisket. It was juicy.
And that is how you season.
And just wipe it down real good, and then we take a lemon and kind of hit it with it. Don't put any soap on it or anything like that. Just let that meat juices get on it, seal it real good.
To me, that's the best way to season. Cast iron and wood cutting boards.
I thought
meat juices.
Yeah, that's right. Hamburgers or sausage and cheese balls in cast iron. If you've got a good fatty sausage and cheese ball, it'll season a cast iron skillet.
So Easter is this weekend.
Yes, it is.
But we're not doing a traditional Easter dinner.
Well, we did our brisket last week for everybody else. So this week I asked my dad what he'd like, and he mentioned catfish. So we talked about, I could fry a little catfish here and there. So I'm doing catfish.
And your mom wanted crab legs.
And she wanted crab legs. So we're doing crab legs. I'm going to do them on, I'm not steaming or boiling them. I'm doing them on the pit.
Good.
I like them on the grill.
I think they get you baste them in butter as you're cooking them, and the shell seems to get crispier, so they crack easier
because the air moving in the pit.
Yeah,
makes them good and brittle.
Yeah,
and they're already cooked. Like when you go to the store and buy crab legs, it's not like you're getting raw crab. To put them up, they flash steam them or boil them or whatever they do, and then flash freeze them. So you're basically just warming them back up to eating temp. And so it doesn't take a whole lot of heat.
Yeah.
I mean, you just want to get the shell brittled where you can get the meat out easy without having to dig it out with crackers or whatever you use,
Yeah, but the butter gets on the outside and it gets in your fingers.
It's porous. The shell's kind of porous. It takes in the flavors.
Yeah.
So I always baste them in butter really good and season them up. Use some king crawl and some parsley, some lemons and things like that.
Yeah.
Get some flavors going. Usually I'll baste them one more time halfway through. And the cook's only 30, 35 minutes. And how I know they're done is that's the best part. I just break a leg off and try it right there. If it cracks and that meat comes out, I was like, yeah, these are done. There's no temping them or anything. You just kind of, you got plenty of legs laying there. Just try them as you go. That's a pitmaster privilege.
I'm really excited about the crab legs.
Are you really?
Heck yeah. I hadn't had crab. I can't tell you the last time I've had some
crab
legs.
We're going to make coleslaw and tartar sauce and do some world's famous hush puppies. Not the homemade kind. Mississippi's famous hush puppies then.
And hope the Easter Bunny comes and sees us.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to New Orleans last weekend.
I didn't know you was going to bring this up. It was a good trip. I'll just say that. Went and saw Eric Church. He put on a fantastic show.
Yeah, he did.
People were mad at him for skipping out on, what was it, a Houston show or something? Because he went to the
Duke
and North Carolina game. But
I mean, they should be mad.
He made the New Orleans. Yeah, I'd been mad too. If we'd have got hotel rooms, tickets, traveled down.
Babysitters, dog sitters.
Lined everything up. You go down there and up. Sorry, folks. No show tonight. I'd have been pretty upset too. But he put on, I'd never seen Eric Church live. And if you guys hadn't seen him, he puts on a heck of a show.
You're not that.
It was a 3-hour show. No, I mean, I knew a bunch of his songs, but it's not like he's on my regular rotation of music to listen to. But, I mean, I bet he played 30-something songs. There's no opening act. It was him from start to finish, no encore. He was probably spent by the time it was over.
Oh, yeah.
But the show started at 9, and it went over till midnight. I mean, it was a good concert. We got kicked out. They put us out of the place.
We were the last people.
I got a personal police escort out of. Where was it at? The Smoothie Cake Center. Saw SUV sitting outside. Said, "Hey man, give us a ride. $100. Take the hotel." He's like, "Come on in." I said, "All right." Best $100 I spent too. I did not want to try to find my way from that part of town back over to where we were staying.
New Orleans is a whole different vibe. It's like the smells, the sounds, there's like the diviest dive bar right next to a 5-star restaurant. You know?
For real. It's just debauchery. It had been, I don't know how long it had been since I'd stayed on Bourbon Street. We had a balcony. I got spotted.
Several times.
Yeah. Like out on the balcony, people were across the way hollering at me and recording me and putting it up on TikTok. Just went with it.
I was like, "Oh, we got this balcony. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna throw beads. I've never done this before." Like, it sucked about Saturday morning at 9 a.m.
It's nonstop. I recommend everybody do it once. Go down to New Orleans, stay on Bourbon Street, get you a balcony room, and enjoy it. But that'll probably be the last time you'll want to do that, because it is almost 24 hours a day of beating, banging, music playing, people hollering, no telling what you're going to see. I hate to see it when they legalize marijuana in Louisiana, because it is buck wild. It's like, it's just a cloud over the city right now. I mean, in the morning, that's the first thing you smell. And you wake up, it's like, "Dang, what are they burning up?" It's probably marijuana. It's like, dang.
I mean,
what are these folks doing?
It's not legal there, but they're passing joints. I mean,
I had never seen nothing like it in my life.
Yeah.
And I've been to states where it is legal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Too, yeah,
like, man, this is the police force did not seem to care.
They got bigger problems.
They didn't want you. Oh yeah, it's just. I guess anything goes. I don't know. You learn a lot when you go to New Orleans. There's people out there way wilder than I've ever thought about being in my life.
What was the best?
And you jump in there with them just for a little bit, get a taste of it, and you get out. I mean, I'd hate to be trapped in that. Could you imagine? Because it's like Hotel California. You check in, they never let you check out. There's people like that. They're just there.
And
it's like,
it never stops.
Never stops.
If you want to just never stop drinking and just go, 24 hours a day for a week.
Oh, yeah. And then I guess just lay down on the ground because I just saw people just laid out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty sad, too.
Yeah.
You see people in some bad shape down there. But
I could see it being easy to fall into that.
If I was, strung out or something like that, why not go to New Orleans? That's where the party is. I mean, I see why people go down there.
So what was the best thing you ate?
The best thing? Wow. Trying to think of all the good stuff.
There was 3 really restaurants we kind of went to that stood out to me.
Char-grilled oysters at the Royal House were really good this time.
That was the first time I've tried the Royal House, and it was really good.
Yeah.
We had po' boys and some oysters. They were.
Yeah.
I like the atmosphere there. It's really good.
Man,
we went to Brennan's for lunch.
Eggs Benedict there was really good.
Yeah.
It was traditional. Well, actually, it wasn't a traditional. I had it had some kind of a beef demi-glace or something, a sauce like Hussard sauce or something they called it. That's just off the top of my head. It was something started with H, I think. But it was on the Eggs Benedict, and it was really, really good. You had?
I ordered an asparagus and avocado salad, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be delicious." I love asparagus. I love
with
avocado.
like caviar.
Yeah. It looked like when it showed up, it was a plate. And
That's why we needed some stuff to me.
It
just
looked
put
like
it on a
the
plate around the edges.
after you ate. Like it was just a few sprigs of asparagus delicately placed this
Chef
way.
that up, didn't they?
Yeah, it was way too chefy for my personal taste. It was delicious.
Yeah. Lobster bisque at GW Finn's.
GW Finn's was the best restaurant we ate at.
Yeah.
I want to go back
You
there.
had, was it the black drum?
Yeah. I'd never
and
had
that fish
drum.
was excellent. I had John Dory. I never had that. It was excellent. Yeah, that was one of the best things I had.
We also got a fried oyster appetizer.
Yes, that was really good.
And it had like Asian-y flavors. It was like a banh mi or whatever. That I would highly recommend GW Finn's.
I had never been there, but it's
Yeah.
a really good restaurant. Been to a lot of them, but that was my first time to go there.
But yeah, New Orleans was fun. Are you ready to go back?
Yes, I am. But I'm not going to the city. I'll be in Metairie. Because why, Shell?
Give me one second. Okay. We're going to the Old Metairie Crawfish Festival and Cookoff, presented by the New Orleans Jesters at St. Catherine of Siena.
In Metairie.
The men's clubs in Metairie. It is a crawfish cook-off festival. There's going to be 40 teams, all you can eat crawfish. It lasts from 2 to 8 p.m. There's going to be kids zones there.
Next Saturday.
Family fun.
Yeah.
Malcolm Reed.
I'm actually judging. That's why I'm going.
Yeah.
I was asked to judge, and I'm not going to turn down getting to judge a crawfish contest. But if you show up and go, you get to judge too, because a big,
you get to walk around and eat crawfish.
Yeah, because it has like what do you call it? Public People's Choice. And that's the public gets to judge. And I'm imagining what they're going to do is you pay an entry fee to get in, you get so many tickets, and then you go around and you use those tickets to try people's crawfish and vote for who you like. That's usually how they run a People's Choice. Yeah. So I imagine you get to try everybody's and then vote for the ones you like. They probably give it to you like we do when we do our events, where it's just like a little boat of crawfish or something.
So you get like 3 or 4 of each crawfish.
I'm excited to see all the different ways people do crawfish and to see if I'm going to go down there and whoop them all next year. I've never entered a crawfish contest, but I think I got a pretty good recipe. So
tickets are only $30.
That's all it costs. That's all it costs to go in and eat all the crawfish you can eat.
Yeah, and I imagine they'll have.
And they're talking about doing like a truckload of crawfish. He told me how many sacks each team. I forget. I think every team had to cook 400 pounds or something like that.
Oh wow!
It was an incredible amount of crawfish they're going to be cooking.
I mean, you can't.
I want to know what they do with all that. They must get a dumpster brought in to fill it all up, because crawfish, you have just as much waste because you only get like a little thumb-sized piece of meat out of the whole thing, and then the rest of it's all waste. So you got to do something with that.
And they get real stinky real fast.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Don't let that sit for a day.
I'm pretty sure Metairie's got it figured out what to do with the crawfish.
They don't do crawfish leftovers. Yeah. I could learn something there too. What do y'all do with all these? I would like to see a crawfish cooking contest up here in North Mississippi, because we got a bunch of people. I mean, we got all these vendors that set up different corners and sell crawfish. We sell crawfish cooking supplies. Tons of people cook crawfish up here. I'd like to, see that as a contest somewhere.
Maybe next year we can host our own.
Maybe we can find a place. Anybody's got a place they let us host a crawfish contest.
That'd
be a great fundraiser.
Ask.
Be a great fundraiser.
Oh yeah, that's a big ass though. Mm-hmm. We're gonna need about 3 or 4 BFIs.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think about all the water, that you use to cook your crawfish.
Yeah, because you got to dump that water somewhere too.
Yeah, dump that. There's a lot of
businesses would not like that if you just dump it right out there in front of them.
And there's shells going to be everywhere. And
you need a field or something.
Yes, that's what you need.
Yeah.
Anybody got a field? But yeah, it's only $30. You walk through, all you can eat crawfish. You can't spend $30 on
St. Catherine of
Siena.
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 In Metairie.
Metairie. April 23rd, 2 to 8 p.m.
I'm excited. I'm going to go to Drago's Friday night.
Yeah.
Get some char grits.
I've never been there.
You never been to that one? That branch?
Have we been to Drago's?
I've been several times, yeah. It's good. It's one of my favorites. There's one in Jackson.
Have you taken me?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't remember. Yeah, it's really good. They're known for their char grilled oysters. They have this butter sauce that you can actually buy it. They bottle it. That they do they pour it over the oysters.
That.
Yeah. Pour that over the oysters, top it with some cheese. Makes really good char grilled oysters. I don't know if it's sold in stores or you got to get it at the actual restaurants, but
I've seen it.
They have a couple locations. I don't know how many. I know there's one in Jackson.
I think I've seen it on that CajunGrocer.com.
Yeah, they probably do have it there. But I'm excited about that. That one's not going to be like, see how many hurricanes you could drink that weekend.
No.
It's going to be a family friendly event. We're taking Michael with us. He loves crawfish. I mean, you'll have a few, you got to have a few Abitas with some crawfish in Louisiana, right? Just not in excess.
You got to make.
We're not staying up till 5 a.m.
No.
I'll tell you what, that's the first time I've stayed up till 5 a.m. in a long time.
It keeps getting later and later.
It was 5 a.m. the last time I looked at the clock, Sunday morning.
I don't believe that.
The sun was cracking through. There were still kids out beating on buckets trying to make some dollars. And I was like, holy crap, I got to go to sleep. Because y'all want to get up and eat brunch at 9:30.
So the other day.
I'm still hurt. I'm not going to lie. I'm too old for this. 20 years ago, Mal could have done it.
You
not
did it.
46.
You did it.
Oh, yeah.
You've just been a white.
Ever since.
Ever since.
To buck up.
So the other day I started thinking about how I like to cook these days. I like to buy store-bought stuff and kind of doctor it up. I mean, we're so busy. It's hard. I used to love to cook and, make these big complicated meals. But anyway, and I was thinking about semi-homemade. Do you remember that old Sandra Lee show called Semi-Homemade?
Yeah, I do. She liked it. You talking about somebody like to booze it up. She was always making these cocktails on that show. Talking about the blonde chick?
Yeah. And she was getting into them too, knocking them back. But it got me thinking about all those old Food Network shows that we used to watch.
There's some good ones.
They were really great. What were your favorite ones?
Oh, Emerald.
Bam. Emerald Live.
Emerald Live. I loved Emerald Live. I loved that show. Yeah. That one and the one that Mario had where he would have a few people sitting at a bar with him.
That was one of my favorites.
And then Bobby Flay did one where it was like in front of a little audience where he'd bring somebody up. That was pretty good too.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, he'd just have a few people sitting around. It was like, it seemed like friends and stuff, but I don't know. It might have been actors. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was a good one too.
Mario Batali, it was like his sous chefs and stuff like that would be sitting at the bar.
Yeah, at the bar.
And he'd be talking to them.
Yeah.
And they'd ask him questions and stuff.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah. The Iron Chef. Do you remember the old Iron Chef?
The Japanese one?
Yeah, where they would dub it.
Yeah, before they made Iron Chef America.
I used to love that show. They were cooking. They'd cook octopus.
That was when Food Network was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't all like challenges and hokey contests.
Reality TV.
Yeah, reality TV.
Game shows, money.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there wasn't none of that. It was real cooking shows.
We used to watch. You and I used to watch, but especially when we first got married. Elton Brown.
Yeah.
Good Eats.
Yeah, his was good. He's kind of a little. He's zany. He tries to put that zany element, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You learn something on his show. I tell you, somebody who's got chops. That's Anna. She's bad to the bone.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I'd watch hers, but it's one of those. Let's sit back, let's chill, see what's happening in the Hamptons. I can
making this for Joffrey.
Yeah, for Joffrey.
Joffrey.
Nobody's making this stuff, but you can learn something from her though. She was really good.
But she would teach you how to really for real roasted chicken the right way.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
She would teach you a lot. I even like the old diners, drive-ins, and dives back in the day.
It's all right. That was kind of what single-handedly seemed like it brought the Food Network down. They started doing stuff.
You know
like
how
that.
you blame Garth Brooks for ruining country music? You blame Guy Fieri for ruining Food Network.
Food Network.
Flavortown.
It brought Flavortown to the Food Network, and it's sucked ever since.
It used to be Mario Batali. Do you remember the old show, $40 a Day or 30-Minute Meals with Rachel Ray?
Yeah, I remember 30-minute meals for sure.
I
I don't
remember
remember $40 a day. What was
she would
that?
like travel, go to different locations.
Oh, and she only got
$40.
Yeah, nah, that's. I ain't buying that one lick.
Heck no.
There's nothing worse than that. Going somewhere and there's not all you got to spend.
$40.
Yeah, be packing abs and some 12 packs. That's what we did in this town. We did.
Do you remember any other ones? We talked about Iron Chef.
Sarah Moulton had one in the morning, and it was almost like a talk show. It was like daytime TV talk show where she'd like answer questions. People could call in. She was always cooking something, but she was good too. Didn't she
really
work for
good.
like Martha Stewart?
I
Her
thought
deal.
she was Julia Child's
Maybe it was
protege.
Apprentice or something like that. I don't know whatever happened to her. I guess these people just get old. I mean, we just get old, you know. You can tell I watched a lot of Food Network. I know all the shows that was on it.
In college, we used to watch it all the time, like during the day, you know.
In
And Iron
between
Chef
classes. In between classes.
Easy Mac and Food Network.
Food Network. What can we do to these ramens?
One day, 20 years from now, somebody's going to be having on a podcast, they're going to be talking about old YouTube channels.
Yeah, they will, for real.
They're
No
gonna be
joke.
like Malcolm Reed.
It's like, I remember when he had a podcast. Tyler probably don't even remember these shows we were talking about. This was way before your time, wasn't it?
I remember we
like
watched
a
a
baby.
lot of Food Network all the time. Like, that's like me and Ashley's favorite thing.
Yeah.
So we watched a lot of, like, I like old Hell's Kitchen, like the older series before they,
Yeah.
now they do like all these weird challenges and stuff like that that are really irrelevant to cooking at all and stuff.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was like all cooking.
You're talking about the Gordon Ramsay Hell's Kitchen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gordon
Yeah.
Ramsay's Hell's
We
Kitchen.
watched the first few episodes. First seasons of it.
yeah.
The
I
man,
mean, my favorite old show is Justin Wilson. See, I watched the PBS shows. I
Me
go way back. I
too.
watched,
Julia Child.
yeah. There was the Walk guy. He always had a
Yeah.
different apron with a saying on it.
I-
Do y'all remember the two fat ladies that would drive around on a motorcycle together? Like one in a sidecar, one on top.
They were
They-
they were ugly.
Man.
This is
I
way
watched
before
them.
me.
Yeah, if you see these two. Like, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? I think it was called like Two Fat Ladies or something like
called
that.
Two fat ladies.
Yeah.
And then one of them would drive the motorcycle, and one of them would sit in the little sidecar.
Yeah, drive around Europe to all these different places. Usually they'd cook something. I don't know what their relationship was like. They seemed to be having a good time.
They were always so happy. They're British, very
Yeah.
very British. But man, they were ugly as sin. One of them had a big wart or something right there. I shouldn't talk about them. They seem
Yeah.
very nice. I love to
I'm
watch
sure
them.
they were super nice.
I'm going to look this up.
Yeah, you need to find that one. That'd be a T-shirt to bring back.
Yeah. When I go to my mom's house and stay there, she still like
Has the
has the
PBS.
PBS.
Yeah.
That's like one of her only channels. This isn't Food Network foods, but Man versus Food, the old Man versus Food.
Adam Richmond.
Yeah,
Is that who
yeah.
it was? Yeah.
Those were good, and No Reservations might be.
What was? Oh, Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, he was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I loved watching his stuff. You learn. I mean, I still catch myself watching Zimmerman because he does
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of the traveling too. I mean, he eats some stuff that I don't know if he does as much anymore. And I don't know if those are. I don't know where they're at in production. If those are current shows or just reruns I'm watching. But you still see them in it. I forget what channel it comes on. It's not Food Network.
I think it's
like-
Discovery.
Yeah, it may
or
it's
Travel or
something like
yeah.
that. But I still watch his show. It reminds me a little bit of Bourdain's, but Bourdain's his had that dramatic flair to it. I guess like you could tell they were produced, and he was meeting these people and going to these exotic locations and trying stuff. And from a chef, I mean, he was a chef first, not
Yeah.
TV. He probably didn't like TV. I don't know. It didn't seem like he did.
It paid for things, I'm
But
sure.
yeah, yeah. That was a really good show. though.
hmm That used to be one of those we would watch a lot.
I read his book. If y'all hadn't read, if y'all are into restaurant cooking or in the mind of a chef or something, should check it out. It's really good.
It's supposed to be one of the best chef,
It's really good.
Stories.
It was wild. I mean, that dude's an animal. Was an animal.
So we've released the brisket, Easter brisket.
That's
Easter's
the Easter
coming.
recipe.
Any other recipes you got coming out?
Yeah, we had some TikToks that I think what's the next TikTok? The Chorizo Queso?
Chorizo Queso.
Man, that one was a dang good recipe there. I took my version of restaurant style white cheese dip.
Or that smoked
Or
queso.
white smoked queso.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
But you just
and then chorizoed it up and made it really delicious and did it on the smoker. And it was so easy, really.
Did you cook
Tyler took the rest of it home,
I ate like a king that whole weekend. It was amazing.
So, but the key to that one is you have to buy from the deli white American cheese. And if you can find Land O'Lakes brand, it's even better. There's something about it being the way it melts, and you would think being, queso, that Mexican restaurants, they're using some fancy Mexican cheese, or they've got some secret cheese. And I've tried that. I bought the Mexican melting cheese and different things, and it gets nowhere near the white cheese dip recipe they do. It is white American cheese, and then you can put any other cheese you want in it. White cheese, like I did the Velveeta queso cheese, just because I knew that was a pasteurized, going to melt cheese.
Yeah.
And then you add milk to it, and then usually they use diced green chilies. You can put jalapeno in it. It's got to have a little bit of cumin in it. And you just mix all that together and put it on the smoker. You don't mix it up with a blender or anything like that. The cheese melts, and as it melts, you stir it, and it starts looking chunkier and kind of melty. And you're like, this ain't going to come together. And the next thing you know, the next 15 minutes, it just smooths all the way out, and it makes the perfect queso.
So you don't have to add any roux or
you don't
anything
have
like that?
No, you don't. There's no making a roux. It's all about just melting it with a little bit of the liquid in there.
Where does the chorizo come into play? Do you put it in there raw? You cook it? How does that work?
I didn't cook. I knew what would happen. If you was to take chorizo, mix it in with cheese dip or queso, it would just turn it greasy. It would be all orangey looking. It's going to totally, change the fact that you're trying to make a white queso with the chorizo. So I browned the chorizo separate on a skillet, dumped it out on paper towel. It soaked the paper towel. I changed the paper towel, put it on another one, and got all the grease off of it I could.
Yeah.
And it left me, and I just kind of let it sit there and kind of on the counter while the cheese dip did its thing. And then when it was done, I put that warm chorizo, just mounded it right in the center when I got ready to serve it. And then you can garnish it up with whatever you want to put on it, but you don't spread the queso out. So when you serve it, you get you a scoop and you start in the middle at or on the edge of the chorizo and go through the cheese dip, and you've got it all combined. But you don't want to mix it all together, and it makes a much better presentation. It's a much better bite, and the dips, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I think that's how they do it in the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. They don't mix it all together.
Yeah.
You notice La Siesta does one. La Siesta dip has a bean layer and then a queso layer, and then the chorizo right in the center, and then a little pico, and that's off to the races.
Yeah, and it's up to you to do your scooping.
Yeah, to drag it through, and don't just go in there and stir it all up. It defeats the purpose. It really does. It does. You need to eat it in layers. And
it's more fun that way.
It is. It is. But let's see, what else do we got coming, Tyler? We got some other stuff on deck. You have to remind me because
we got some stuff.
I'm thinking
overnight fork, but it'll be coming out.
Yeah, I did that because me and you just kind of did that one cell phone style, and it was like season the butt, putting it on at night. The next morning you get up, you take it off, you pull it apart, and you're off. You're ready to go. It's that easy.
Yeah.
That one's. That's
you should call
babysitting pork butt because the grill does all the work for you.
So I'm kind of at this weird place because I started out on a pellet grill where all I know is pellet grill cooking. So I'm having so much trouble working my Weber kettle. It's not even funny.
Really? See, now that's where you went wrong. And I tell people that all the time. First grill, and I don't know how many times I've said this. If you had to buy one grill, getting started, you don't know if you're interested in, being a full-time barbecue guy or whatever. You don't want to do it on the weekends, but if you want to learn and you want to get a grill to start on with the least investment, get you a Weber kettle, just what you have, and learn to cook on that first.
Yeah.
Learn to run it, learn to cook hamburgers on it, learn to cook steaks on it, learn to set it up 2-zone, learn to do a long cook on it. Learn that Weber kettle, and then decide which one you want next.
Yeah.
If you want a pellet grill, if you want to cheat, pellet grill's an entryway grill too. There's nothing wrong with it, but you're going to be left in the dirt if you need to run a fire. You don't know anything about running a grill. You just know how to turn it on and put pellets in it.
So what I was doing is I've tried to cook steaks probably 5 times on it, and every single time, because I thought I had watched you guys enough times, but I guess not. So you start your chimney and stuff, you kind of get it going, which, so, like, I've used briquettes and I've used lump. This last night I was using lump. But I would pour it in and then I'd shut the top. And I don't know if are you supposed to leave the top off for like a while to let the fire get going?
Usually, well, I mean, if your coals are ready, it's all in you got to get the coals all grate over. Mm-hmm. And when they're hot and ready, I spread them out in the grill, one layer, single layer, put my grate in place. Usually I have a set of grill grates on it, then close the lid and have my vents 100% top and bottom open. Mm-hmm. That's going to let your grill heat up. Then it takes 15, 20 minutes before the grate's ready to cook.
So maybe my bottom vent's not open. Maybe that's the problem.
You got to check your airflow. I would check the ashes if you've been using it a bunch. A lot of people will let that grill sit there and pile up. The little butterfly thing on them, the fins will get where they won't move, and you've blocked all your airflow. Yeah. So you got to keep it clean. Always start with the ashes out of it. Make sure you see some air coming through it.
That's probably the situation, because I left the top off yesterday and the flame seemed to actually get going, but there was so much charcoal built up the bottom that it got so.
Did you put extra charcoal in it? On top of, because you don't really need to do that on a Weber. A lot of times one chimney is all you. I mean, depending on what you're cooking, but if I'm cooking steaks or something, one chimney's gonna.
In the past, I have, and I think that's so much charcoal was built up in my actual in the
below the fire grate.
Yeah. And so when the one chimney got going and I left it open, like they all engulfed, so it's like really hot.
Yeah, you're trying. Yeah.
And a lot of times that charcoal will get. It'll absorb the moisture or whatever.
It's not. Yeah, you can't charcoal
make
briquettes.
Mud in the bottom. Yeah,
briquettes don't do well. Start burning them and then putting them out. Closing the vents and trying to restart them. Lump you can, because it's just not been compressed like briquettes. Doesn't have the fillers holding it together and all that stuff. But charcoal is going to absorb that moisture, and like Shell said, it kind of turns into like cement.
Yeah.
So I should probably clean it all out and then just kind of start fresh.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
I would do that every time on a Weber.
Okay.
Just get you a little shovel. You can go get them at Walmart or Home Depot or somewhere and shovel it out into a little bucket.
Or turn it upside down.
Turn it upside down and dump it in the flower bed. Let your wife get mad. But yeah, always start fresh. And that way you got good airflow. One chimney's going to get you and you spread it out and you're ready to go.
Charcoal in a flower bed's good, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I learned to cook on a Weber because that's how we used to cook our chicken for a contest.
Yeah.
And once you do it every weekend,
it starts to
come
a rhythm.
I mean, honestly, it's probably the grill I use the most because I'm not always long smoking something or wanting to, take it.
Most of the time when you're cooking for us at home, like a dinner.
Yeah, it's just fire the Weber up. We're done in 15, 20 minutes.
You're either cooking a chicken kind of hot and fast or a steak or
burger.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed it wasn't working because I was trying to do your method of cooking a ribeye, 1.5 minutes flip or turn, 1.5 minutes flip, and it wasn't getting done. Like the grill marks weren't there and stuff, and I was like, man, something's not right here. The meat was still kind of red, and I was like,
what did your dial say temperature wise? Do you remember?
It was only 175. That's why I knew it was. So I'd make another basket of charcoal
and kept trying to go in.
I was like, this isn't getting hot. What am I doing wrong here?
You need to get to 500.
It has to be the vent of the
you got your airflow stopped up some kind of way
because it's like the fire's going out. Like I'm not even seeing a fire underneath. I took the grill grates off and was like, man, so I got a lot of work to do. But
yeah, Tyler, you need a lesson. Come on, let's go buy some steaks and
you used to
we'll
say,
start fresh.
Just get it fired up. Don't even put meat on it. Just go out there, fire it up, see if you can run it.
Yep.
Get it good
your
and
temps
hot.
right.
Yeah.
Learn to do that. Learn to see how the charcoal runs, how long that charcoal lasts. Watch your temperatures. I mean, that was like beginning stage.
Yeah.
Then go to cooking meat and don't go cook expensive ribeyes. Get you something cheap. Some sirloins or some chicken or something. Yeah. Learn to cook some pork chops. Pork chops is a great one.
Yeah.
Because they're cheap and they're easy. They grill really well and
they're fast.
Yeah.
To try that.
Then move on to steaks. No, it's not hard. It's not. Weber grill is one of the easier ones to cook on once you figure out the airflow and start with a clean grill.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised.
You'll be ready to go cook steak contest.
That's right.
I can tear up the pellet grill now, but I think I can do that.
So, Mount, what else do you have coming up?
Well, we're running rib practices for Memphis and May.
Yep.
We're doing, full blown, start to finish, building a box, checking to see which kind of ribs we want to use, what size ribs we want to use, getting our standards down with time and weights of ribs and what we're, the whole thing. We're going to run probably, I don't know, probably 6 practices, something like that. Mark's got a contest. He's going to be cooking at Springfest next week while we're going to Metairie, but they're just doing MBN ribs to get a practice run in. We don't have very many weeks before Memphis and May. It'll be here before we know it. In fact, it's load-in's less than a month. The contest is exactly a month, so.
It is exactly a month from this weekend. Yep. So you got 3 weekends in between?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
So we've got a lot of work to do. Luckily, we can practice while we're working here at the office. So Kentucky Derby's coming up load-in weekend, so I got to brush up on my mint julep recipes. That's going to give us a TikTok there. Different kind of juleps or something. What's
your kind of julep?
Do
you have any?
Pretty standard guy when it comes to it. Give me some bourbon, a little mint, a little simple syrup. That's about all I need.
I love a good mint julep.
You know what? I like mojito better, but I like a mojito with bourbon. I don't know what you call it. Yeah. It's lime, simple syrup and lime, or sugar cubes and lime.
Sounds really interesting. I've never tried that.
But that's what I'm going for.
What's popping up is just bourbon mojitos. There's no special name for it.
That's just what they call it, bourbon mojito.
Yeah, it's not like it's called.
We've got Cinco de Mayo coming up.
We're actually doing another contest.
We're doing a margarita contest. Is that the next one for real? I got to brush up on my margarita recipe then.
We're gonna order tacos from La Siesta.
Yeah.
I got a plan.
Break out the nacho cheese machine.
Break out the nacho cheese machine.
It's cool. It's probably a gringo holiday. They just do it so they can sell beer and quesos.
I got y'all on this margarita contest.
Do you?
Gotcha.
What are you going for? What are you going for?
I think it might be too early to swim.
Oh, it's too early to tell. I was just sure I was going to win it last year with the watermelon. I'm not getting crazy this year. I'm just going to make something sweet that don't taste like tequila, because evidently they don't like the good tequila. Don't waste your money on the expensive stuff with these judges.
I'm going to just go to La Siesta and get some to-goes. That's what everybody knows. That's what everybody likes.
The dip, muscadine slush flavor won last year. It was a muscadine slush
with tequila.
With tequila. That was all it was. That could not have been good. There's no way that was good. I didn't try it. Did you?
No, I did not try that one.
I took inspiration from what won last year, and that's kind of where I'm going. I found out the dip has I want to say Italian ice. It's homemade Italian ice, and they have all these different flavors. So we tried the watermelon one, and it is really, really good. Really? With tequila.
Jamie made a good watermelon one last year.
And he didn't even drink.
Yeah, he didn't even drink. So I'm going to test it out this weekend.
Okay.
Route 44 cherry limeade margarita. See how that is.
With Matador tequila.
Matador tarantula or something.
Tarantula. Could you put vodka in there?
I don't know.
Instead of tequila? What's the rules on that?
Yeah, see, that needs to be the rule.
Yeah.
See, I thought we should have a constant. We should all have to use either the same kind of silver tequila, have a silver choice and a gold choice.
Maybe that's what we'll do.
And that's the constant through every margarita.
That's a good idea. Buy everybody a little.
And they're here.
A little,
They're here. So you can't have your,
So there's no somebody goes out and buys $400 tequila or something like that,
Oh, I do have
Lazul. What is that one?
Claus Azul. That's Nobody's using that. I've got a bottle of Claus Azul mezcal. We could, but see, they wouldn't appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's not something you make a margarita with.
That's something.
I might bring out my Sandals model blender. Bring that up here. I haven't broken out. It was a Christmas present.
Your Vitamix.
Yeah, my Sandals model Vitamix.
You pitched a fit for that Christmas gift, and you got it.
You do not we haven't had weather to do that yet. Just wait. You're gonna get tired of boat drinks this summer. I'm gonna be mixing it up. That's a good idea, though.
It's still in the box.
I know, but that'd be a good time to break it out for the margarita contest.
Do you even know where it is?
I don't. Probably right beside my sausage grinder. I swore you didn't give me. I got start brushing up on the margarita recipes. There goes my not drinking for a few weeks.
Darn it.
Darn it. It's Take Gun Margarita Contest. But that's pretty much what I got coming up.
Yeah. So we got a full spring, and then it'll start slowing down.
Yeah. No, it won't.
No, it won't.
What do you
never
have?
does.
What do you have coming up? Lined out? Anything?
Just assisting you.
Mikey will be doing a Easter demo here at the shop Saturday, day before Easter. I think we're going to be closed on Good Friday in observance, and then Saturday we're opening back up for those last minute people. And it's only like the shop's open from 9 to 2 maybe, and then he's going to be doing demo probably just from like
10 to 1, I believe.
10 to 1.
And, yeah.
Yep.
And he's doing Easter ham. He's doing mac and cheese. He's a few other things that's like it goes with the Easter dinner that you can do on a grill. So if anybody's in the area, they want to come in and get some inspiration, pick up some last minute stuff from the shop, stop in and see Mikey. I won't be there Saturday. I'll be cooking catfish somewhere probably.
Well, Mount, that's all I have.
That's all I have today, Tyler.
That's all I got. If you guys want to check out an awesome community of pitmasters, backyards, competitions, etc., make sure you guys check out the Let's Get to Cooking Facebook community where we have almost at 20,000 members. So if you guys want to join, help us reach 20,000. It'd be awesome.
That's right.
It's a great little community. I love checking in.
We're still doing something with the white sauce. Did y'all ever figure that out?
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting
Be looking for that because we did launch a new product. It's my version of the
Alabama.
famous Alabama white sauce. I call it Mississippi white sauce because I'm not from Alabama. If I would have lived in Alabama, I probably would have called it Malcolm's Alabama white sauce. But it's a Mississippi white sauce and it's dang good. So, and we're gonna be running the thing in the community. I think.
Yep.
I don't know what exactly we're gonna do yet, but we were trying to find a way to spread some love and.
Let me borrow your pen.
You
I
wanna
went
borrow
to
my
New
pen?
Orleans and I completely forgot about that.
Oh, but anyway, that's coming up, folks, and hope everybody out there has a great Easter holiday, and fire those pits up, and we'll see y'all next time. We gone.